and I don't know what to write. And I feel overwhelmed and I feel paralyzed, and I suddenly just stop writing altogether, shelf that draft somewhere, never to look at it again until like a week before the deadline. You then start to think about if there's a valid reason in terms of why you need that degree, why you need to go out overseas. Then you start asking yourself, okay, then what is actually my end goal? What do I want out of this? All right, hello folks, long time no see. Welcome back. Today we are gonna head straight into another personal statement video, and I feel very inspired over a workshop that I've just done actually before recording this video. And it's all about personal statement and what you should be doing before you even start your personal statement. So in this video, I will be talking about a few things that you can ask yourself as some brainstorming pieces. So first things first, I think a lot of us approach personal statement writing as this like Google, like, okay, Oxford Masters. And then we went on to do like, okay, what are the requirements? Do I meet the GPA, the minimum GPA requirement? How many recommendation letters do I need? Who should I be contacting? And then you look at the personal statement and you're like, okay, I have to write about my motivation. I have to write about why Oxford, or like why Harvard, why whatever university that is. And then suddenly I open a Word document and try to start writing, and I don't know what to write. And I feel overwhelmed and I feel paralyzed, and I suddenly just stop writing altogether, shelf that draft somewhere, never to look at it again until like a week before the deadline. How about we shift that into, let's first look into what actually do I want? Why do I even think about a master's degree? Why do I even think about a PhD, perhaps, or a bachelor's degree, or whatever that is that you're trying to apply for? Why do I even have this in my mind in the very beginning? A lot of us might think about this because, oh, I see like this social influencer, you know, having her MBA degree from like top universities, or you probably know who I'm referring to if you're Indonesian as well. Or perhaps you look at your friends and like you have a friend who went abroad and had a really great time there, and you also want that feeling and you also want that experience. Do ask yourself that first, like, why am I even thinking about this in the very beginning, in the very first place? Because that can be very telling in terms of your own motivations, whether it is to simply because, you know, a lot of people are doing that and I feel pressured, or perhaps actually yes, there is a really this deep feeling of want, and perhaps also a very logical need to pursue a master's degree. So first things first, ask yourself and write it in your journals or in any other format, why you even think about studying abroad. Don't even think about why you need it first. Just think about what's the moment when you first start thinking about it, and write it down. And be very honest with yourself. I think a lot of us feels like, oh, it's not a good answer to like, you know, write, I want this because I see a lot of my friends do it. Obviously, we don't want to be associated with just like someone who is like in a FOMO kind of moment. But if that is the truth, write that down. Be brutally honest with yourself. Don't judge yourself. Just write whatever you're feeling. Write it in your personal in your journal, and you'll thank yourself later, because that will give you a whole lot of clarity in terms of what's next. You then start to think about if there's a valid reason in terms of why you need that degree, why you need to go out overseas. Then you start asking yourself, okay, then what is actually my end goal? What do I want out of this? It doesn't have to be like, oh, I want to like change the world, I want to save the world, I want to invent this and that. Like, it doesn't have to be grand like that, but it has to be something that you are reaching for, that your current self and your current state cannot reach without that degree. And getting from here to here, that's your how, right? And the how does not have to be studying abroad. It doesn't have to be a master's degree. It does not have to be a PhD. It does not have to be a degree or whatever it is that you're thinking about. Perhaps it can be, you know, applying for a new job in, you know, that company that you think can give you the insights and the knowledge and the working experience into where you want to be at. Perhaps it could be just, you know, getting coffee chats with people who are experts in their fields. Or perhaps after you do that, then you still think, okay, like getting a master's degree is still the right way forward, then so be it, right? But just understand that from where you are to where you want to be, it does not have to be I have to do a master's in Harvard, okay? A lot of us, I think, get trapped in the idea of education is the answer for everything. Okay, in some sense, yes, but it does not have to be the only way. Okay, once you establish where you are, where you want to be at, the how, and you have a very strong why as a foundation to this whole thing, then you start looking at the what. What would be a suitable program for me? Is it a master of public policy, for example, something more practical, or is it something more research based because you want to go into research and academia, or maybe you don't really want to go into academia, but you just enjoy dabbling with theories more and you think that would give you more of a better framework going forward in your career or whatever it is that you aspire to be in life. That's where you will start looking for universities, programs, and Google those like Oxford graduate program kind of thing, right? That comes after you have the foundation of your why, where you're at, where you want to be, and the how to get there. So this how piece, if it is studying abroad, then that's when you're looking for programs that are suitable to bring you from where you are to where you want to be. Now, this requires a lot of research, and research doesn't always mean like just Googling universities' names, but it's also about talking to people, tap into the network that you currently have. Perhaps it's friends who've done it, or you've seen someone online, like a lot of you reach out to me, and just ask questions, valid way to do your own research. You can go to LinkedIn to find alumni of people who have done the degree that you want to do, and you know, probably they're currently working in your dream place and you kind of want to ask like, okay, this is actually help, what's your experience with the degree, right? So research comes in a lot of ways, and don't constrain yourself to only like a passive desk research of Googling things and looking at the web page and things like that, but also talk to people to validate what you find online. Let's say now you found the dream degree, the dream program, and you want to apply for it. Now you ask yourself, okay, then what do I need? This is where the whole requirement things comes in, and the kind of like thinking about writing a personal statement comes in. It's after you've done all this research, right? And after you've done all of those questioning within yourself. And the reason why it's important is because this will really help you to then, at the end of the day, write your personal statement. These are like your data point collection process before you even start thinking about a personal statement. So once that's done, you want to look into what is the prompt of this personal statement. What is it actually asking for? You'd be surprised at how different these prompts can be from universities to universities or from programs to programs. Even within the same universities, different programs or different departments will have different approach to what the admission officers would like to see from your personal statement. So be careful. Make sure you always answer what is being asked in the prompt. A few other questions that I think will be really helpful, especially when you are thinking about the prompt and, you know, before you even open that Word document and start like writing. A few questions that you can ask yourself on top of what I already shared earlier. I do have a list here. Firstly is, how did I feel? What did I feel when I first started thinking about this program or this whole study abroad, or applying to XYZ university? How did that feel with me? Is it because I was frustrated? Maybe you're currently working in the lab on a specific problem statement or a complex issue that requires the technology and the knowledge and the expertise on, let's say, molecular biology, and this is not something that's present in your current workplace, or perhaps you don't really see this as a big thing happening around you, so like moving job is also not an option. This is like an issue that you are passionate about. It's just that you don't have enough resources, knowledge, and expertise around you to help you get there. And now this is where you feel like, okay, perhaps doing a master's is the right thing to do, and doing it overseas where, you know, it's in a country or in a institution that has a proven track record of, you know, deep expertise in this would be the best way forward for you. That's probably one thing. You know, you feel frustrated, or you feel excited, you know, like for me, I read a lot of work in the whole development world before I applied for a development degree. And one book that got me really excited was Hajun Chang's book on the 23 things they don't tell you about capitalism, and I really enjoyed that. And when I flip the cover, you know, sometimes they do have like this profile at the end. I saw his photo and the fact that he's teaching at Cambridge, and that's also one of my pivotal point of like, oh my god, like I really wish I could learn from this guy one day. So yeah, that's just the excitement feeling. Or perhaps you just feel lost. You feel like in your current workplace or in your current study, you don't feel inspired, you don't feel like this is what you want to do. Perhaps you join like a networking event or you talk to someone in like another field and you feel like, wow, that field is so interesting and you want to learn more, and you've done your research. You've done a bit of like, you know, you listen to podcasts, you try to join like some online courses about it, you dig deeper into it, you do your own reading, and you feel like, wow, perhaps this feeling of being lost opens up doors for you to explore other things, and that other things is probably the thing that you want to focus more on, and that means there's a pivot between what you currently have or your status quo and where you want to be at. And then again, like perhaps studying abroad is the answer, and maybe this institution specifically is really good at that topic that you want to dig deeper into. So feelings is definitely the first thing that I would tap into. I'm a feeling person, so I'll always go with feelings to understand further my why behind, you know, a lot of different decisions that I might have made without checking in first and being aware of that decision and that interest first. So if feelings is not your thing, maybe you can ask yourself other questions such as, you know, what issue am I observing around me right now that I feel like I want to fix, that I want to contribute to, that I want to learn more about? Is it because, you know, I don't know, maybe in your current living environment, you feel like, oh, the waste management is so bad. And then you get very nerdy about it, you look into like waste management systems and you feel like there's a better way to manage waste, especially with the current, you know, situation, the climate change happening, and that waste does play a big role. For example, don't quote me on this is just an example. You know, if you observe this kind of thing just from your daily lives, that could be your problem statement. That could be something that you depart from and you write about. Let's say you want to study something like a degree on sustainable development. That's an example. If that's the pivot that you're looking for, then you want to ask yourself, okay, then what do I know about this field? You don't want to just kind of come into a degree, apply for it without like even enough knowledge. Contrary to maybe popular belief, okay, I don't know if it's a popular belief, but a lot of people say like, okay, obviously you go to university because you want to learn. But I feel like especially in the master's standpoint, you cannot be like super clueless about something. You have to have some sort of experience or at least like observation, and that you've read something, you've done your work, you've done your homework in the field, and you ask yourself, okay, all right, from what I know, what else do I don't know, and what else do I need to know to get to where I want to be? Again, you always want to think about where I am, where I want to be, and the how. So like that will inform you of the gap that you have as well. And that's what you want to write about in your personal statement. If you've asked yourself all of these things and you still feel like, oh my god, I'm so stuck, I don't have anything, then perhaps it's a good time to step back and to ask yourself, you know, why am I feeling stuck? Is it because I have not experienced much? I have not done my homework. I have not done my research. I just have a very superficial interest in something and have not done anything. Then yeah, perhaps studying abroad or pursuing a master's degree or a PhD right now might not be the best decision, might not be the best how. Perhaps the how now is to at least get from here to here, and that how is doing your own research, read up more things, meet up with people, talk to the experts, find ways to achieve that little step before you even think about, okay, let's do a master's degree on this, right? So I think this whole thing is a lot of like it's just like a check-in with yourself. Like, can I really validate my reasons of pursuing a master's degree, of pursuing a graduate degree, or anything that is? This is, I think, the element that a lot of people don't really spend the time in, and then just kind of jump into personal statement and then not really thinking about okay, what data point do I have? How do I justify my interest? And I think that is the source of feeling paralyzed when it comes to writing, because you just don't know what to write about, because you haven't asked yourself, you haven't talked to yourself enough to know yourself and why you want to do this in your interests, right? So I hope those questions would help you brainstorm and help you decide whether it is the right thing to do for you, and help you in writing your personal statement. If you would like more information and more tips on writing personal statements, I do have a whole playlist. You can click on this link. I mean, not click here, but like follow the link or click the link in my description box to access a full playlist. I hope this is useful for you. If you are looking for someone to review a personal statement, I do have an essay review service at Let V Help You, so you can go ahead to Instagram and reach out to me, and best of luck for your application journey. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!